Looking southwest of the Great Sandhills Inland Terminal, about 5k away. 5k beyond that was the elevator down at Leader. Swinging around looking southward on a sunny afternoon makes me want to curl up in a warm place and take a nap. There's the N.M. Patterson and Son elevator over there. Probably built by Poole in 1965. The first elevator was built here in 1914, and by 1920 there was 8 elevators lined up along there in Prelate, Saskatchewan. It's July 29th, 2010. Looking eastward at Prelate, there's the village standpipe, and it still is a village rather. Away northward up there is the South Saskatchewan River, 15k away. According to E.T. Russell, the first settlers, likely German extraction, began arriving in this area in 1903, and they came in from the north, across Montgomery Ferry. There's a truck up on the newly refurbished number 32 heading somewhere. Looks like chemical cars from McNeil gas plant over there, and some potash cars lined up on what is now the Great Sandhills Railway. This line was built by CPR starting in 1911 down at Java Junction on the main line by Swift Current, and by 1913 it reached up this far. In 1914 the bridge down at Estuary was completed, and the Empress branch line was in service from Swift Current to Bassano. Mid-1990s the branch wasn't performing up to CPR's expectations. They tore out the bridge down at Estuary in 1993 and turned it into the Empress sub. And by the mid-2000s they really wanted to get rid of it. Shutting the line down would have meant stranding the Great Sandhills terminal, so the Great Sandhills and some other interested parties got together, a consortium, and bought the line out. March 14th, 2009, 117 miles. Don't know what that green and white building on Main Street is, but there's the post office. There's been one in this town since 1913 and was preceded by a rural post office out on the McIntyre farm in 1912 called Advie. It was run by Jessie McIntyre, the postmistress. And looking westward down was probably Railway Avenue in the long golden light of the late afternoon. And there's the Leader elevator 6 miles away there. Great Sandhills in between. The name Schultz is also associated with this area, so many of the early settlers being Germans from Russia and from the Ukraine. Despite what Russell says about the settlers coming in from the north, they likely came up from the CPR main line at Maple Creek about 3 days wagon ride away. The CPR would have dropped its station right there at the end of Main Street in 1913, a portable. They built it into a special in 1917. Some of the false fronts on Main Street here. There's the hose tower on the fire hall. Don't know when that building was built. To get back to the Canadian Pacific stations for a minute here, the special was converted into a freight shed in 1920 and replaced by an impressive standard Western Lines 2-story A2. There's that building again. Lots of empty lots, probably fires or maybe just demolition. The buildings that used to stand there. Not much left in Main Street. There's the village office. It became a village on October 25th, 1913. Went bankrupt in 1940 and the province disbanded the council and appointed an overseer until 1946 when they regained the finances. Church with a campanella there. Baseball diamonds. There's the curling rink. built in 1958 but condemned now. The population is down to 126 in 2006 from a peak of 630 in 1956. And this is St. Angela's Academy, for sale. The Ursuline sisters were summoned to this area towards the end of World War I on May 31st, 1919, when they turned the sod on the forerunner of this building. School closed June 30th, 2007 for lack of students, and the last 4 sisters left the convent. November 8th, 2010. They say an Islamic group might be interested in buying the building, but that's a far stretch, I think. The Ursulines were influential in this area and a big employer. They will be missed. They also set up St. Joseph's Hospital, which they sold to the RM in 1935, and it was closed in 1968, and the public school was closed in 1985. Prelate, Saskatchewan.